Live, I think.
Yep.
We're live now?
Yep.
This is awesome. So let me get my phone up so that I can see if there are any comments and such that are coming through. Probably do that on Facebook. And you guys see us live right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, here we go. So as everyone knows, I am Shawn Williams and with Fortis Mortgage. And there's so much going on right now, obviously, as we know, in the world, in America. We do finance home loans for families around the country. And so, you know, we were talking, my team and I, and there are plenty of things that we could talk about as it relates to mortgages and like financing. But we've been serving families for years, and there's so many of our clients that are being affected in so many ways by this coronavirus. And so one of the things we were thinking about, because I'm living it right now, my kids have been out of school. This is the second week right now. My son's upstairs right now in his room, his area. He's on a Zoom call with his teacher and the rest of his classmates. I've been hearing my wife kind of bickering a little bit with my daughter to get her going. Fortunately, I can work from home, so I don't have to really deal with a whole bunch of that. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to stop talking after I introduce two people, and I'm going to start asking a few questions, and hopefully this will be a big help to some parents and even the teachers that are out there that are helping with distance learning. So the first guest that we have is Tammy Thompson Griffin. I helped her purchase your first home. Is that right, Tammy?
My second home.
Oh, second home, back in 2005.
2005. Yeah.
All right, great. So that was it was awesome to deal with you then, and we've become friends since then. And you've been an advocate and a fan of our company and our practice, and so we really appreciate that. So Tammy is an educator with Fairfax County in Virginia, and I'll let her tell you a little bit more about herself in a second. And then secondly, we have Val Zukowski, who's all the way on the West Coast, and she's friends with one of my colleagues and now my friend. And so Val is an educator, like I said, out in California, and so she'll be talking a little bit too as well. And I think you have little ones, Val, is that right?
I'm sorry, what was that? I'm having a hard time with the audio.
You have little ones? You have kids?
I have two kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Okay, awesome. Got it. And then so I'm gonna go first. Actually, I think this will be for both of you guys. So if you have Tammy, you put this on your Facebook the other day about because of your background, and you can tell us what that is, but tell us why you put up your Facebook message the other day about if someone doesn't understand an assignment, like, how can they communicate or get assistance with assignments?
Okay. Hi, I'm Tamala Thompson Griffin. As Shawn said, I have been in the field of education for 24 years. 10 of those years, I was a classroom teacher teaching little second graders, best age. And then I stepped outside of the classroom, and now I still work in a school, but I am the technology specialist, and I provide support to not only my students, but to staff as well. So in terms of the Facebook message that I posted in regards to parents needing help in the classroom, and now I still work in a school, but we are in unprecedented times. Teachers are being, I don't want to necessarily say forced, because we're going to do what we're supposed to do anyway. That's our job. And most educators, we love it from the heart, and we're going to do whatever it is that we need to do to provide for our children. So I put that up and saying for parents, I know this is a challenging time. You're not used to having to provide your child's education and let alone just figure out what resources are available to you. I would say for my school system, Fairfax County, they've done a wonderful job with providing resources online for parents, for teachers. This first 2 weeks has kind of been just, we've been told to treat it like a snow day, so to speak. So students are not required to do any new learning or to log on to their Blackboard sites or whatever. Teachers are not required to do anything right now as well, but most of them are. They're using Zoom to reach out to their kids because let's face it, we miss them. So they're using Zoom, they're using other platforms, whether it's Google Hangout, whether it's Blackboard Collaborate. There are gazillion opportunities that are available, tools to reach out, just to kind of touch base. But as those assignments start to come in, I would say your child's teacher is going to be your first place where you need to reach out to solicit help. On my Facebook page, if you need some help, I'm more than happy to help you. I have a plethora of teachers as well that are willing to help if you're struggling or need some help. And also, I would suggest to you to pay close attention to your school district's website because that website is going to give a plethora of information and resources to help parents, teachers, and staff in the community as a whole as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
And, for those of you that are guests on here, feel free to ask questions. We'll do some Q&A towards the end. So, Val, we were talking about, obviously you're in California, shelter in place. You guys been doing that for what, like maybe a week or two now?
I think the official shelter in place went in over the weekend. So last week was stay at home, but then the shelter in place was like Friday night, last Friday.
Got it. And what's that mean like to your school system?
Well, like similar to what Tammy was saying, last week we pushed out information and gave the families some homeschool study package to maintain the progress that they made, but not really teach them any new materials. Which for my families is really challenging because I teach special education. So a lot of them need modified curriculum. So last week is pretty flexible, but this week our district's really kicking into high gear. We're making sure that the students who have Chromebook assigned to them come and get them because a lot of our population in our community doesn't have access to a computer or even the internet. But what is nice is Spectrum is giving 60 days of free internet to families. And then our district is trying to utilize like old technology, older Chromebooks to give them to the K2 students who don't have assigned Chromebooks to them. So, technology is awesome, but it's been a challenge because I was really utilizing my Google Classroom to reach my families. And then when I called them today or yesterday, they were like, oh, I don't have a computer. And so a lot of it's just connecting with them and seeing what they need and supporting them in a different way if possible. So we're kind of working on all those things right now.
And Tammy, do you guys, I think in Fairfax County, they have computers, right? The students?
Yes, we have. It's called FCPS On, and in the middle and high schools, they all have one-to-one. It's not one-to-one it's not consistent one-to-one in the elementary at the elementary level. My school is fortunate enough where we are one-to-one, but our last day, our kids don't take their laptops home. They keep them in the building. So our last day, we didn't know it was our last day. So we weren't able to disseminate the laptop. So now we're working with the health department to figure out what is the safest way for kids to come in and pick up laptops if they need them. I think that's wonderful in California that the cable company is providing free access. I have not heard that here in Fairfax County, but that's awesome because that is that's a barrier because not everybody has internet access. And when you've got a family of 3-4 kids, your one household family laptop isn't probably going to suffice.
Yeah.
There's challenges. There's challenges with the distance learning. There are definite challenges, but I can assure you that people are working hard to make this a success. So students don't fall backwards. We want them to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, understood. So what Tammy, and then I'm going to go to Val. So Tammy, what are some of the resources and lessons, for instance. So one of the questions was, what tools are available to teachers to teach many lessons online to students, if they're doing that, and then how effective is something like that?
Like I said, I think it is a learning curve. And I think, to be honest with you, I think the kids are going to grasp it better than the parents and better than what the teachers are going to. But in terms of tools, that really depends on your district. I know Fairfax is extremely strict on what tools we are allowed to use. So our tool that we're allowed to use with our students is Blackboard Collaborate, because we have the Blackboard shell, and that's a tool that comes within it. So we can communicate with our kids, posting lessons. We can post our Google Classrooms into Blackboard, and we can also use Blackboard Collaborate Chat, which is something like we're using now, where teachers can use to either record pre-recorded lessons and share out the link with the kids, or invite the kids in to do a little live learning. But same as Val says, we're not doing any new content. It's review. It's, just something to keep the engine going, so to speak.
Okay. So Val, you have two kids, two small ones. Mm-hmm. So how are you able to keep them, busy and productive during the day? It's my understanding that you have some crafts and stuff that you're able to show us, but like, what's your secret to, keeping your kids busy during the day and productive?
For my kiddos, what I really try to do, and I think it's what I need to be being a teacher and being scheduled, I have a schedule that's pretty loose, but as long as I hit some of those key areas, those academic areas, that makes me feel better for my kindergartner. But really, we only probably do maybe an hour to 2 of like academics, and then everything else is like supplemental, but like enriching. So a lot of art projects, a lot of outdoor time. One thing that I brought to show you was I'm really big on utilizing resources that you have at home. Even when I'm in the classroom, I like to upcycle things, just because I work with a population who might not have the resources that a lot of people have access to. So I always save my toilet paper tube rolls. My 2-year-old made this octopus. So that's something really easy. You can save your paper towel rolls, your toilet paper rolls, and create anything. But an octopus is working on fine motor skills with cutting and bending up. Also putting on little eyes is working on that pincher grasp. And then painting is just fun and creative. Another project that I did with my kiddos was I saved the heart or the base of the celery stem, and we used it to stamp and paint. And I just let them decorate probably 20 different sheets of paper and just have fun with it and mix and match. They each pick their favorite color, and then they all turned purple by the end. And then I save these and I turn them into a card, and I'm going to have my older son write in them and send cards to my great aunt who's in a nursing home and her friends if she wants to share them. That just say like happy spring. Those are just some ideas.
Those are cute. Those and like what? Hang on, let me get Tammy off of mute here. So Tammy, what are the most frequent questions you're being asked right now? And I want you to answer that same question, Val, after Tammy.
I would say the most frequent question that I'm getting asked right now is parents are scrambling to get, like I said, we use Blackboard. So parents are scrambling to get access to Blackboard so that they can access these resources that our district is providing. So that's probably my number one question from parents. And my number one question from teachers right now is, trying to just get assistance with setting up their classrooms and, what is the best platform? I'm missing my kids. How can I reach out to my kids? What's approved, what's not approved? So I would say that's probably with in terms of my staff and my teachers, they're just dying to find a way that they can just see their little kids' faces. So that's probably my biggest question is help me connect with my kids.
Yeah. I think we're kind of on the same page. It's the same right now. Our district is just focusing on connecting with our kiddos. And I think the question that I get the most is, how long is this going to go on? And what are we going to do next? And I think that our district is trying to be very proactive about thinking. They haven't made the call to cancel school for the remainder of the year at our district in San Diego County. in general. So they're looking at the short-term plan and a long-term plan, so that we can move past just maintaining progress, but looking at moving onto, that distance learning model and what that's going to look like. So that's a lot of questions that we don't have the answers to yet, but people are working on it.
Right. I was going to ask that, what's that going to look like? Because we haven't seen anything like this, at least in my lifetime. I've always gone to school, it's just haven't really missed a considerable amount of time from school for something like this. That's my question and concern, is what happens next, because potentially the remainder of the school year, half the year is done. And how does that affect our kids, like in regards to their learning and their progress? And so that's my biggest question. You don't have to answer it unless you want to, but
I just want to say that people need to understand that, especially in the lower grades, by no means does distance learning replace going into a brick and mortar school every single day. By no means does it replace it. I think it's finding that balance and that happy median of, no, we can't actually have school in the brick and mortar, and no, equity across households is completely different. You may have that household where, mom is going to make sure that they're on that routine and, they're doing A, B, and C to a T, similar to what, the classroom teacher might do. But then on the other hand, you've got an enormous amount of students who don't have that. So you got to kind of find that happy balance between the two and provide. And even though you're providing, you can't make it mandatory. And a lot of these questions, we don't know the answers to. We don't know what it's going to look like. Because I can tell you, we've been planning, and then, 3 hours after we've, put all this time into planning that we're going to do it this way, something comes and it changes.
Yeah.
Tell that curve is flattened, and we practice social distancing. We're not going to know what's going to happen. We just have to take it day by day.
So here we are, East Coast, West Coast, right?
Right.
It's schedule, no schedule. What are we doing?
I say schedule.
Yeah.
Schedule. And I don't mean like a rigorous schedule, like, boom, 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 boom. I say, just like Val said, like, 2 hours, of a rigid schedule. And you got to be, creative, and, it's a great time for kids to go outside and play in the creek. You know what I mean? Just practice that social distancing, things that they don't typically do. I've seen so many kids in my neighborhood until now. I'm like, oh, wow, we really do have a lot of kids that live in the neighborhood because they stay inside all the time. So it's a great time, get them out, let them get some fresh air, have your science class outside. It's simple. But yeah, we're in a very different time, but I do think that scheduling is helpful and will make the transition back into the brick and mortar a little bit easier.
And I think it's helpful for parents too, because sometimes if you kind of let the kids just do whatever they want, the day just drags on. But if you block out times, or even it's like, okay, we're done with our academics. Now we're going to do Play-Doh, and then we're going to put that away and we're going to have snack, and just make the time. It just helps you organize your day in a way that you're not like, oh, this is such a long day,
Got it.
I saw one more thing I want to. I just saw this I guess it was on Facebook, but a mom had gotten really creative, and she had put a little chart on the refrigerator, and it had jobs. So if you cleaned out the refrigerator, you earned like $5 worth of Monopoly money. So it was like this game amongst the kids in the household, like, oh, if you cleaned your closet or you added something to the donation bag, you got money. I didn't get to see what the end reward was, whether it was just a competition who earned the most money or whatever, and you really got it, after, that amount of money after this is all over with or what. But that's a nice little, with kids engaged and get them doing something.
It's good stuff. So, Val, I know you have to run in a bit. Do you have any parting words for us and anyone here that's on the live stream?
I think my parting words is just for parents in general, just to have fun with this and use this time as like time to develop relationships and do things you wouldn't normally get to do. And even though it's kind of scary and you're hoping your kids are still growing and learning, every little thing that you do makes an impact. And making dinner together is growing and learning. Doing the laundry is growing and learning. It doesn't all have to be academic. You can really pull something out of everything that you do. So just keep that in mind, that you're doing a great job, and keep it up.
Tammy, I think you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. This is great. Let me see if I get any more questions that came through. You guys have been so generous with your time today. You really didn't have to do this. I thought I worked around the clock. Teachers here, you're doing this and giving us information because I can tell you love it. You wouldn't be on this call if it wasn't something that meant a lot to you. And I don't want to sound too cliche, but we thank you, parents, for the educators, for helping our kids get to the next level. Because I promise you, if my family depended upon me to teach them what you guys are teaching them at school, we'd have a tough time. So my wife's great at it. But thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And if there's anything that we can do to help on our end, please reach out. And if we can't help you directly, we'll be sure to connect you with resources that can.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Val.
Nice meeting you too. Good luck.
Take care of yourselves.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.